this question
3 minutes.
uninterrupted.
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 Okay.
You have to agree to this deal, then I'll deal with it. If you don't,
Is that the only?
I will play the fifth like the last time. Like, who is it? But if you give me 3 minutes, I will explain it.
Is that all you need?
That's all I need.
3 minutes. Live
Start
at
the
Star
clock.
103.5.
So I will address this for now, and that's it.
And for the last time.
For the last time. It will never, that if this question ever arises anyway, I will shut it down.
Okay, great. And thank you for giving us this opportunity exclusively.
Good. Okay, so here's
after
what.
this platform, you will not respond
No,
to
I will
anyone
not
again.
respond to it ever.
Okay.
I promise you.
What happened in that conversation, that podcast conversation?
Now listen, I just finished my directorial debut, and the woman said TikTok, which my team has said they would like an exclusive between me, Chidi Mokime, and Kate Henshaw. I'm giving you the backstory real quickly. And I said I will get involved. My team, my manager told them I'll get involved on one singular reason, that we'll talk about a new project, which is Rent a Room, my directorial debut that I shot in Miami and Houston. Then we were about less than a week away from our first premiere. That understanding being made, we got to the platform. Now, Toke is an awesome host. But of course, she has to also stir up some controversy of sorts. That's what the show is about. Don't forget the show is called The Tea. There's a way a question is coined if you have a certain dignity about it. But the understanding of that segment is they're going to ask you a difficult question, you refuse to answer, you drink tea. Okay, you have a sip of tea. So I decided, listen, even alcohol at that point, I'm going to keep it. You will lose this question. If I answer this question, anyone answer this question, it's a lose-lose. And I will explain very carefully why it's a lose-lose. If I were to glorify this conversation, okay, and say, hey, glowing things about it, it will be at the detriment of the person I'm with. And also at the detriment of the person she's with. Which husband wants to hear about an ex talking about sexual explicitity with the person he is with? People don't even understand that this was an act of respect. You understand me? Because I'm beginning to think that common sense is an anathema in the court of social media and people that use the internet, they get emotional for no reason. If a 10-second clip, you refuse to see the stretch of the clip, you have a full, wholesome understanding of the matter before you comment. They didn't show the part where I was saying, hey, guys, this was not the agreement. You understand? It was that I'm supposed to have a full-blown conversation about very serious issues. But here you are talking about a mother of 5 or 6 kids at this point that's married to another man. And I'm also evidently with somebody. And you want me, and the question was that, have you had sex with her? People don't even get that part. They weren't asking, they were asking certain explicit questions that if I were to answer, first of all, if I talk glowingly about it, at the end of the day, I will look bad with the person I'm with. She's going to look bad with the person she's with. Now, if I were to talk derogatorily about it, or down on it, what kind of a man would I be? Now, I've also had several relationships with some high-level individuals in this land. I've never been that kind of man that come out and start talking about it. In a few years, our kids between us are going to have access to the internet. And what do you want them to unearth every time we go there? That I'm the kind of man that was there talking about an ex. Which husband or wife wants to hear about an ex? Have you really taken that into consideration to start with? And if you were to say, listen, I don't want to talk about this thing, it will look defensive. It will look like I have something to hide. Then that will also unearth another barricade of questions. But if I kill it dead on arrival, as soon as I ask the question, I say, who's that? For crying out loud, you know this thing existed. Why do you want me to validate it? Why do you want me to talk about something that happened in another phase of my life? Do you even realize this happened over a decade ago? And everybody's living their respecting individual life. The greatest exhibition of disrespect that I've paid on a public platform is to talk about a married woman with 5 kids. Or more. I don't even know the status right now. It is totally out of context, totally disrespectful. And there's no how I would have answered that question without sounding a little ominous, without sounding disrespectful, and one way or the other without offending both parties. So I pleaded the fifth, took an easy route out. Yes, it was an easy route, but that was the easiest route. I am not the kind of person that will arm the court of public opinion with a gossipy needs to talk about people or anybody that I've been with. I don't care. Because the status quo for the most part is usually you know, when you bash an ex-relationship, then you give them the tea they need to go talk about stuff. And that's why I said, who is that? If you don't know who is that, then who it is or whatever existed about 10 years ago, then you do have a problem because you're not going to hear from me. So anybody that does not understand why I took that stance seriously needs a common sense check.
Seriously needs the common sense check. If you just join us, the voice you're hearing is that of the screen guard. He's here to talk about his debut. I mean, how do you say that in English?
This is my directorial debut.
Directorial debut. Yeah. Yes. Put it short, something he has put his soul and mind, blood and sweat in. You do what?
Yeah, I'll come with my cane if
seriously. You would have to wait 7 p.m. He's going to be here in the same seat.
I'll wait for him at the gate.
But why? Babula is a nice guy.
Babula is my boy, man. We're the boys for a long time. We're cool. Yeah, he's a nice guy. Super nice. I'm glad that he's at the hem of our face.
Sure.
Yeah, this entity. You couldn't get anybody better. Seriously.
We'll
go way back.
What?
I don't seem like that kind of guy. I don't think our frequency will treat on that level. My vibe, my energy, I think is different from Bola's. I figured Bola's energy a long time ago. He's not my kind of energy, but he's a super cool guy. Professionally, I will fuck with Bola any day. I'm allowed to swear on this show, right?
Well, you just did, but we apologize. We apologize on your behalf.
So professionally, I will hang with Bola, but I'm not sure socially if it's going to. But what are we going to talk about? Yeah, but yeah, I think our energy is entirely different.
Right. Let's talk about the journey so far. I mean, look, who doesn't want to be on the screen? But
now out in the street to deal with the best of them. And then I realized what I had. I came to appreciate the comfort I had. I also came to appreciate my journey because I wouldn't have had it any other way. I think that's what forced the conviction of what I became. There's no way I would have become what I am if I stayed in the house. I promise you, it would have been an easy life. You know, maybe a master's, maybe by now, maybe sitting on a Fortune 500 somewhere. But I mean, it would have been a really boring life. So I promise you.
You find fulfillment in what you
absolutely
chose to do.
Because every other person that pretty much got on the master's and the PhD thing, if I skip that now, I'm going to probably get my PhD anytime I want to. And at the end of the day, whatever business interests I have, I control it now. And for the things that most of them work for me, directly or indirectly, you know. At some point, something happened. There was a cousin then that was the main forefront advocate of, oh, you're going to fail, nothing will ever good will come out of this, you are very shy. I grew up excruciatingly shy.
You did?
Oh, yes, and I think that was the bedrock where they believed. I was just pretty much what you call a nerd. My nose was always in a book, researching, doing stuff. I mean, forget school. I was skipping classes like nothing. It was just nothing. So at the end of the day, they just believe, where is it coming from? You have no background in this. None of us are artists. We're mostly traders, businessmen, scientists, academicians. That's the crux of my family. So there's no history of an artist. So, you know, they believe that this gene, this interest has to have roots somewhere. And I had none. So I've had this conversation with my dad many times where I sit down and tell him, why did you fight me so hard? And he said, why wouldn't I fight you? As a father, I'm an only son.
Oh,
so, yeah, why would I fight you? Now you have children, you understand. Now that I have my son, I understand. When one of them say very into an industry where we had no background, that knew, I mean, and don't forget when we started, there was no financial gain, there was no real person to look up and say, this is the reason for the success, there was no status quo, success, some sort of frame of reference that to say, for this reason, I was successceable. It was just there was just a bunch of dudes hustling their heart out, and nothing was coming out of it. They looked as broke as a broken horse. You know.
Whoa, we were digging you here.
No. No, my brother, don't get it twisted. I came in with money, but the point was that when I started, somebody, you know, now there are lots of examples to look up to.
Right. Yeah.
Then there was nobody. The people I was looking up to, I had more money than them. You know, that's the truth. Because who was I looking up to that has money? You understand me? I'm third generation Nollywood. The first generation at that time that were ultra successful, it did not exhibit in their financial gain or what they had financial or materialistically. The second tier that came on board were mostly younger women. They were trying to copy the trends of the first. So that first, second generation had nothing to show me that we, you know, I could encapsulate as an example of success. I came in, when I came in, I had a different drive. So the third generation, which is the one we came with a bit of better education, we came with a bit of awareness of a certain consciousness and an ingrained belief that we're not going, this thing will serve us financially. So we also garnered a new generation of followership that were ready to pay money, buy our CDs, you know, see our movies and all that. The money started coming. Then we started asking. I was banned at some point for asking for fees.
I was going to.
You do remember? Yeah. I've always been at the forefront of the charge. I woke up one day and told them, "Listen, man." So what happened was that one of the producers, I went to visit him at his house opening, his housewarming, and I'm like, for crying out loud, I'm about to swear one time. Why does this motherfucker own a 3-story building and I'm here? You understand? So I decided I wanted 1 million naira per film. And these guys went up in arms and said,
we're talking about what year?
Oh my goodness.
Almost 2 decades. Almost 2 decades.
Bro, whatever 1 million meant then probably meant 50 million now or 30 million. I'm telling you economically. Wow. I said that's what I wanted. And at that time I was the highest paid at $500,000. I said I wanted on no movie. So some they went uproar, and then I started talking to my colleagues like, we own this thing. The artist, the talent is us. Without us, these people are nothing. So they said I was leading a revolution. You know what I was saying? And they got together, had a meeting, and banned me.
Is that why you stayed away from movies for 2 years?
2 years. So
2 years.
They banned me, and I thought my war had ended. You know, but I'll tell you, that's what I'm telling you. I'm birthed in chaos. And when that happened, my brother, I left London. I went to London, and then I called my auntie. My auntie was a pastor, and I told my auntie, see that movie I've been trying to pitch to you? Get 2 or 3 of your pastor friends together. Raise money, let me produce you guys 3 films you're going to sell only in your congregation. My brother, that birthed in the whole career. That's how I started producing movies. By the time I left London, I produced 4 films. Made more money than 2 years with them would have made. So when I was coming back, when they unbanned me, I came back, you know this new Chrysler 300? I launched that Chrysler 300, launched a new house, and they were like, okay, it's either dealing drugs right now, or it's doing Yahoo. Because how are we going to ban somebody for 2 years is not worth it. And he came back with more money and more successful. But that is it. You know, I was a child of circumstances and knew how to improvise.
The challenges
start to work
on creativity.
Open new doors. By the end of the year, I had done like 8 different films, produced 8 different films. Then when they call me back, I tripled my fee. Whoa! Oh yeah, yeah. I said, oh, now you guys want me back? Okay, no problem. So every time they will come with the form of fee, like, okay, you know, now it's learned his lesson. I'm not available to work. I'm not available to work. One day, one of them cornered me and said, okay, what is going on? You're not working. You rejected over 12 scripts. What's going on? I said, yeah, maybe it's a money problem. I don't know. He said, okay, what will you have? I said, I want 1.5 million. So wait a minute, we banned you for 1 million. Now you want 1.5 million. I said, yes, sir. And he used some choice words in his life. Called me all kinds of names. I told him, no problem. I walked away. But guess what? Sometimes know your worth. I already found a way that I was sustaining myself. In the middle of the year, I did another crazy thing. I gathered 1 or 2 colleagues. Okay? My girlfriend there and I made the money I made from London, we put it together. I produced the film. When I produced that film, I gave it to one of the marketers. One of the guys that were fighting me. You know, the older guys refused to take my film. But the younger guys, that's what I like. Always understand your niche. There's somebody out there that wants what you have. I found those guys that were ready to say F the older guys. They took my film. So he made 200,000 copies. And I told him that was extremely ambitious. Why don't we start with 50,000? So he released the film. Do you know a week after that guy called me and said, hold up a minute. 2 days I've released this film. I've been trying to reach it. Don't forget cell phones and all that. We finished selling your work in 2 days. So my movement.
In how many days?
2 days. They finished it. I've not shot the movie for 2.5 years. It created a serious scarcity. By that time, I was renowned continentally. Not only Ghana, Togo, South Africa, everybody was about my brand.
Yeah.
So now, I was not working with these guys, I was not working for myself. So that movie sold out in 2 days. We printed 500,000 copies again in a week, it was gone. We print, I don't know how many copies it printed after that, it was gone again in a week. And then that's when it hit them. That I was an establishment on my own. By the time we were done with that thing, bro, I made so much money, I'm like, what do I need these guys for you? That's when they knew they had a problem. Because when he came back, I quadrupled my fee.
You were just going on.
Yes, because now I'm a producer, I'm making money by myself. What do I need you for? So they had a real problem in their hand. Like maybe we should have been paying you what he asked for.
Yeah,
because now I don't even need them. I was making only my film.
Yeah.
So they got together and then 1 or 2 persons paid me the money. And immediately that person paid me, broke it down. The others lined up to pay. That ended the story. So know your worth and always fight for your worth. Maybe the best thing you need to do, oftentimes, as a talent, as a creative, is when you're in a space where you're not appreciated, move. There's a man called Joshua Bell, one of the biggest violinists in the world. So 2 days before then, he had a sold-out concert in a major venue in America where he made millions of dollars. His seat was sold for $100. He's the best violinist in the world. He has a violin alone is worth over $4 million. The same man in a social experiment was put in a New York underground to play. You've heard about that?
Yeah,
he played in there for 2 hours. Bro, nobody recognized him, and he made $40. People just came, dropped some PTNs.
Yeah.
The same person was announced later in the news 1 week later that this same person you guys are paying $100 per seat was right there under the tube, playing free for you guys, and nobody recognized and paid him his due.
Yeah.
But here, when he moved to the location where he was recognized, he was being paid millions. Once you understand your worth, understand that the location that serves you, that undermines you, needs you to move. Once you move to the location that recognizes your talent, your worth, things will really begin to happen. And that's exactly what I found out from my experience.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jim Iyke. Encouraging. I mean, the story, a lesson of knowing where to pitch what you're selling, and standing your grounds. It always works, and you are a representation of that. But in there, I also got the idea that okay, so if it was still in the old system where you produce hard copies, CDs, and all that to sell, would the story have been the same? Or you would agree that, look, technology advancement and a whole value chain has been created. Today, you can easily make your content. There are people who are ready to buy DSTV and other platform, Netflix, and all that. Would you say that also helped? With you being able to stand your grounds and becoming all that we are discussing here today?
I think
comparing it to if it was back in the time,
Yeah.
if we were just selling the CDs, and piracy was very rife at the time because anyone could just copy and put on pen drive and we're sharing it all over the place. Comparatively, would the story have been the same?
Absolutely. It's a game of will, my brother. The supreme will always surmount over the lesser
The
person.
supreme will.
Yes, and that's what I've always possessed. Don't forget my story. At the point where I was robbed of comfort from home, there was no option. I was not playing the game of plan B. A lot of people play the games of plan B.
Plan B is my
Plan B, some people even have plan Z. If this doesn't work, I'll do this. If this doesn't work, oh yeah, this guy succeeding there, I'm moving there. If by any chance it doesn't show me, I have 10 other dudes that will show me. My brother, you'll be all over the place, spread yourself thin, and at the end of the day, you find out that you will not really amount to much. My understanding was focus. Later in my life, I came to understand the genetics of it, or like the science of success. And I'll put you on some games so maybe some dudes will understand how my mind functions. There's something called RAS, okay? It's called reticular activating system. It's a bundle of nerves that sits at the brainstem, okay? This is totally instrumental in what you become. This is what informs your behavioral arousal. This is what informs your motivation. This is also what informs, you know, the energy you give to things. I'll give you a typical analogy. When you decide to buy a car, for instance, your focus on that car will make you change your entire belief system and your lifestyle. You begin to save, begin to cut down your life. You begin not to, when friends invite you, you don't even want to go. You understand me? You take cognizance of your finance, your economics. You take on new hustle until you buy that car. Your entire focus system is on that car, right? But I'll tell you, as soon as you buy that car, something transpires. You begin to see that car everywhere.
Yeah, yeah.
It seems common. You've accessed it. You
That's
book it.
very, very true.
You see the car everywhere. That is the part of your brain that makes you focus, succeed in buying that car. You understand?
Before you bought it?
Yes. Immediately you acquire it. Bro, there's a Cartier I wanted to buy recently. The day I went into that Dubai place, I bought it. I'm telling you, I started laughing because I am a master at this. By the time I came downstairs, I saw 2 Arabs with that watch. I never saw anybody around me with a watch. I got into the elevator, he had a newer version of mine, which even annoyed me more. Okay? So I was looking at it like, why didn't I see this? Do you know, my brother, at the end of the day, after I stayed for a while, I went back to the shop and told them, listen, I think I made a mistake. Thank God I have a little history with them. I would like a refund. They took, I lost them. I took, because at the end of the day, I knew it was emotional buying. Purchase, right? Now, how does this work? It works in the sense that this is what helps you, aids you to succeed. When you learn how to manipulate that part of your brain to focus any objective, that is what success is. Your drive will be higher. You will outwork anybody in the room. People that are more talented than you will not outwork you. People that will outwork you will not be as gifted as you because you will need to do the extra mile. You will wake up at night, study your script. You will go to the guru, sit at there, and then sit at their feet. They will teach you 7 things you don't know. Your resilience will be higher. Now, what was my option? My option was going back home, a failure, don't forget. And say, okay, hands up, I'm going to do the masters, I'll get your bloody PhD, just let me get on with my life, support me. That was my option. That option was going to happen only when I died. Yes. So imagine if my option was an open home where they will accept me back, nobody will say I told you so, oh my son, you tried, now you can move on with your life in the next phase. No, that was not an option. My option was make it or die trying. By the time I walked back into that house, I bought 2 cars for my parents. I dare say I was competing with maybe the richest dude in my family, you know? And I came with a certain humility I didn't have before because life had humbled me in so many regards. My dad saw a man. It was a boy he was fighting with every day. And then his fear was that he started hearing, he started understanding when I started getting successful. So I asked him, he said the apprehension was that he was waiting for me to return aggressively. Return with a certain sense of, pride that I made it without you.
Yeah.
That he was pleasantly shocked when I came back.
More humble.
And told me, listen, I understand why you wanted me not to do it. But also respect me knowing that this is what I was born for, that you may not have understood. Because I was shy and I always stayed in my room doing all that, does not mean I'm not gifted for it. He said he used to watch my movie and cry. Like, where did this come from? So I told him, you forgot when I was younger, when you guys are lost watching some movie and it's me that come downstairs and explain it to everybody in the middle of it. Now when I used to write the poems, write the prose, write stories for my sisters, when they had assignment, where did you think it came from? Then he began to assimilate and connect and understand it. So that part of your brain is what has always stayed with me. No matter the course in life that I am, it helps me evolve. Listen, there have been 3 different generations of evolution since I started this career, and I've caught up with every one of them and superseded it. I will always find somebody that understands the new system that I've been birthed in, that will teach it to me. I will study it like my life depended on it until I cracked the code, I understood it. The common denominator was always that part of my brain. What I had to do was master how to manipulate it into mastering anything. Immediately I mastered it, it became easy. If I want to be a radio host, you know what I'm going to do? That part of my brain will force me to be friends with you. I'll find the best of the best. I'll be friends with you. I will take your BS. No matter what you do to me, I'm not going to go away. I will sit down. I will learn everything. I'm sure you're not going to teach me everything. I will learn as much as you can. I know where the boundaries, when you stop teaching me, you've served your purpose. I'll dump you. I'll go to the next person. I will learn. I will enforce it until I learn it. I'll put in work. I will research. I will spend my last money in my account to go for the symposiums, go for the conferences, learn it online. By the time I come out and I'm ready for it, I'll be better at it than you. It's only that part, your ability to understand what is happening to you, understand the pattern, and know how to enforce it from that part of your brain that will make you succeed at anything in life.
Very well. This is lecture for free. That's all the blessings you get when you listen. You know, when I put the post up and people really, Sunday, Unique Sunday says I should DM her, she's got a room for you.
That's right.
Rent a room is what we're getting to. But you know, listening to you carefully, the story between you, dad, coming back, that humility, and how they missed it without, you know, thinking that you couldn't become what you are today because they were missing some part of it. The science that is applied to being a parent. How about you? How good are you at it? I mean, how good are you with it now? Now that you also have your own family, when you look at your offsprings, and are you also saying, okay, I think I see this in them, I think I see that, or you're also missing out something that will come to you as a surprise?
The wish of every father. I'm telling you what's interesting. Are you a father, by the way?
I am.
So this is interesting. You will wish that they take all what you do, because this is what you've mastered. This is the space you've mastered. I know the biggest names in the industry here and abroad. So I feel if my own has any slight talent, I know how to sell him to the highest bidder, so to speak. I know it doesn't sound right, but that's the idea.
Yeah.
I know how to make his, if it's going to take you 5 years to succeed, my son will probably succeed in the move because I know what to do.
Yeah.
So if they don't veer down your path, there's a slight disappointment, which is now what I understand from my dad.
Yeah.
There's a slight disappointment. My dad is an engineer, by the way. There's a slight disappointment, but I'm telling you that is a sacrifice of fatherhood. You have to support them no matter what they do. If the man wakes up and says, I love to build stuff, I like to, you know, you have to support him.
Yeah.
That is the intriguing part of it. So my second boy has it. He has that swagger. He has that natural charm with people. He knows how to have his way. Sometimes I don't let him have his way. He go charm his uncle, charm his mom. He's a charmer. Yeah. You know, I'm scared of that boy. You understand? But you see that first dude is more like a diplomat. It's a little more, you know, I'm a man of many parts, I really believe. So I think I share my genes equally in different parts. So that first guy is more of an intellectual. He, you know, he's always buried in research. He can make a very credible argument for a 9-year-old to a far older person. They're usually astounded because they're big for his age at what is able, the kind of sense, the kind of logic he's able to make. My other guy is simple. Love me, I love you. You don't love me is the high road. But he is gifted. So he knows that he finds it easy with anything. Bring him to a piano. That's what astounded his teacher recently. Bring him to a piano. He's already speaking 4 languages. Bring him to a piano, he messes with it. Bring him back second, third time, he will supersede kids that have been practicing for a year. Football is the same thing. He was playing next and he wants to tackle and all that. He's hacking down kids bigger than him. They say they can't have him here. It's too wrong. I said, what am I going to do? I put him in martial art. They were beating him. He was complaining. The next thing they're telling me that, oh, okay, he's yellow belt. I'm like, yellow belt so far. I'm a black belt.
Yeah,
I know how long it took me.
You still do taekwondo?
Well, you can try me outside. So he gets on stuff and does it so fast. So I'm yet to figure out what to do. I'm just labor. You know, it's very hard, and that's when I think people miss it when they try to enforce a discipline too early. You never know. Maybe it's just showing signs of being extremely good at certain things, but there's one that's dominant. I'm just waiting to find out the dominant one. From my discernment, from my intuition, I can tell where it's varying to on both courses. But I don't want to impose, I don't want to force. My convictions are mine. They can make very credible arguments for themselves by their actions, by their deeds. And all I want to do is what will unravel in the years to come, so I'll decide where to push.
Interesting. the man Jim Iyke, giving us the best of times on the show. We promised you it was going to be a very interesting conversation. That we're getting. I mean, you can just listen to him and keep going on and on. I hope those of you on Facebook are enjoying it equally. In the past months, 3-4 months, a phenomenon has been going or blowing across the sub-region, Africa, West Africa. It has to do with leadership. I mean, in countries where they think they want to get up and do something about it, it has different names. The international community is usually not happy about it. We don't want to repeat it and break it, but you know what I'm talking about. Your motherland, Nigeria, is not out of the question. Ghana is not out of the question. I know that since the days of Fela, artists, especially from Nigeria, use their craft to address issues. You are not a singer, not that we know. We had several demonstrations, protestations, and all that before the elections, after elections. You have a new leader now, and all that. Have you been tempted to get caught up in it? I don't think I remember any article on you getting entirely involved. If you did, forgive me, maybe I missed it. But how do you deal with it? How is it like for the life of an artist like you?
At some point, I came to understand the credit of dual citizenship, because what is happening in these dispensations across the sub-Saharan is disheartening. It is not a space you want to raise your kids with your head held high, truthfully. I've always been one that, okay, listen, I've lived in 4 countries, literally, either directly or indirectly. I have more than enough chance. I mean, I'm a product of 2 countries. I have more than enough chance to veer off at some point and really live in another country. But I've always come home. My chief investments are home. I mean, real estate as well. I mean, logistics. I mean, film. Everything is centered at home. Anything that I earn abroad is usually a fleeting mechanism of what I devise from here and maybe filtered into that part, or whatever I do in Dubai. These are the countries I operate in. I operate in Ghana, Nigeria, Tanzania, the US, Dubai, and once in a while in England. So I've come to understand the different challenges in each of these sectors economically. It is sad what is going on. Our people collectively, they're so easy to please. I'm telling you, what you need to be abroad and understand the high octane accountability they enforce on the politicians, the quotas they have to meet that sometimes are insanely illogical. But our people, what do we want to do? A better future for our kids, a better educational system, better welfare system, infrastructures that work. These are the most mundane, most elementary demand of its people. But I'll tell you one thing again. Leadership of every kind, be it religious, be it political,
family,
family, whatever leadership, I'll exempt family for a good reason I'm coming to.
Okay.
Whatever leadership you will, ideologically foster among its primary aim is to ensure that the led does not have any extent of consciousness.
Say that again. Very, very.
There's no
very
leadership.
profound.
There's no leadership in the world that wants its people to be self-aware, or to be conscious, or to be intelligent. They don't want the crux of their people to be intelligent.
Wow.
Why do you think we have entertainment? Why do you think sports personnel are overpaid? Why do you think singers, artists, singers, and the likes are overpaid?
It's a distraction.
They need distraction.
Wow.
From the real crux of the matter, after you watch your sports game and you go home, you forget the MP that's stealing your money and acting up, because your mind is at rest. If you enjoy it, you go to bed, you whatever budget that's available to you, you ascribe it to God, that this is what my plane in life is, this is the plateau, and this is where my kids will arrive at the end of the day. It is the highest level of manipulation. But when you become conscious and begin to understand what it is, you know that there's every other thing that's in front of you is a distraction. Concentrate on your nuclear, your people. That is what I do. I don't do these distractions. Even I'm part of the distraction. I'm overpaid. I'm the first that will tell you I'm overpaid. There are certain endeavors that I've done that I think that people that work harder deserve at least 10% of what I get paid for doing literally nothing. But I know that I'm a distraction. I know after people have seen my movie, they'll be happy to go to bed, understand the challenges that they overworked, they're underpaid, that they're not well represented in all the right sectors. That if their elderly is sick, there's no pension plan, there's nothing that will take care of them. That whatever it is that happens, the last thing it's inherent right now is a government that has got their back, that will look after them. There's no resolution for when we get older. So that is the crux of the problem here. And younger people are beginning to say enough is enough. If it's military action that will bring the awakening, so be it. And that is a sweep of change. Neo-colonialism is a thing. People have not yet embraced how it has totally disregarded and degraded our continent. My brother, even in the map plan itself, go and look at the map of the world. You're going to see the landmass of Russia being huge.
Yeah.
You see where they tucked Africa under it somewhere.
Yeah.
And then you see Europe on the left. But guess what? Our landmass is bordering on over almost 8,000 kilometers. Theirs is doing barely 6,000. But when you go to the map of nations, their landmass look bigger than ours. Has nobody even tried to address this? This is what they are taught as geography to our kids. So impressionably, they begin to even think that these people's landmass is bigger, intellectually they are superior, race-wise they are bigger, they're better than us. It is all enforced in manipulation. They come here, they deem us inferior. They didn't even deem us second world. You know how degrading it is when they deem you as their first world and then we're third world. Yeah. They even brought chi and kept between. My brother, when they call first world, before they call third world, there has to be a second world nobody's sitting on before third world members begin to see. Where
and our leaders are
a sovereign, a queen that literally is on the other side of the world and passed away, and our leaders are made to enter a bus and walk. The wives of leaders are driven in convoy. My brother, it is not today it started. It's been going on for ages, and now we're about to bring in another chain of generations to suffer the same psychological manipulation. So somebody had to wake up somewhere. If it's up and out, my brother, there's nobody that's ever had any revolution or changed anything in their life. This land is also part of that history without violence. I'm not preaching violence. I've never been one that advocates for it. I'm not a proponent of it. But if by any chance some people decided they will not shortchange the future of their children and they either have to spill blood for it, that is the ideology. But I'm seeing something must shift. The paradigm has to shift somewhat, including my nation. My country is not different. There's no politician that will wake up one day and say that he bribed me to come and speak for him. None, including the ones I support. I knew when my colleagues were taking money. I knew when I was approached. And I told anybody that whispers my name in the wrong sector was speaking to my lawyer. My history is clear. There is nobody that's ever given me a dime and said I advocated for his support. I spoke in stuff. Even the one I supported, I said, listen, with a great deal of trepidation, I'm going to stand back, support you, and watch if you're going to be different. So the gist of it is that a president was chosen through our legal and voting system. And somehow it didn't work, another person, climbed the throne. I don't want to know the dynamics. All I want to know is that whoever got in there should have the emotional and intellectual and the psychological capacity to take its people along for once in our life. How did we turn out from the giant of Africa to the Duke of Africa? I don't understand. Everything is depleting fast, from our minds in football and games to our political prowess to our financial. Do you know what 1 naira is going for? I mean, $1 is going for naira right now. It's crazy. I have a little bunch of I have a couple of thousands in my pocket. I just came back from Houston day before yesterday, and I passed it on to somebody, and the person telling me, "Man, I'm a millionaire." And I'm looking at my baby sister like, how did that? I did the math in my head and I said, she is actually a millionaire. So $2,000 that will barely buy me a credible TV back in the US. It's in my relative's hand. And she's saying she's a millionaire. It is deplorable. Do you know how much, what you call it, your CD is going for per dollar? Where is it going to stop? Where is it going to stop?
So we're not saying, I don't even care who is climbing this throne. My brother, when you begin to ascribe tribe, religion, creed to this seat, you miss it. I'm just looking at the heart of the people, the heart of our leadership. I don't understand how we developed in the last 20 years some of the coolest, meanest, most vicious leadership ever ascribed to man on African soil. They literally will sit down and watch their people suffer and plunder for the most basic means of comfort while their children are in elite schools abroad enjoying life. We run into them all the time and we feel bad for them. Because let me tell you what's going to happen, and I must say this next generation of us and the way we're raising our kids are going to come back and buy every dollar and property of that thing they stole. Yeah. And that's how God always plans his life. They can amass and steal and plunder all the one. Our kids have the intellect, they have the training, and they'll understand what it means to have resilience. They will come to their sport far from capable kids and take everything back.
The passion with which you speak about leadership and how it has failed us and all that, it's making me ask myself, how do you take the news, especially with the president as the chair of the West African group, of course, saying that we're going to go to war in Niger and all that.
I will help you before you finish that question. Did we go to war? Did we go to war?
You're still preparing now.
You're still preparing. My question to you is that did we even try to go to that war? My brother,
it came to you as a joke.
If I come to you and I tell you I'm going to slap you, I can say I'll slap you 10 times here. So you're trying to tell me everybody here will just watch me slap you and I walk out of this room. I can slap you now, But if I slap you, what's the repercussion? Do you think I'll be able to walk out of this room?
No.
Then these are not your friends. You should dump every one of the people here. If I can come here and assault you and walk away, I just painted you an analogy of what's going on here. My brother, I can threaten war, thunder and brimstone on you all I want. The day I lift a finger and make it happen, then maybe my group of friends and yourself will teach us that we're not sitting dogs. Let's leave that matter alone. In diplomacy, friends can be issued. Okay, at the end of the day, he's an elder statesman, understands what he's doing. Yeah. Sometimes you come with a little back, if it's not working, you come with a little caress. Yeah. Okay? People look up to our nation, so therefore they look up to our leadership. So I don't care what I've heard in the heat of emotions or passion. I just want to understand what resolution is. Are these young men in the right? My brother, I'll be the first that will tell you that enough is enough. We're tired of what is going on, of Western leadership coming to our land to ponder our God-given reserves and take it back to them and treat us like shit. Let me tell you, you can steal from me. Do you know there's a way I will treat you? You won't even know I'm stealing from you. I can steal from you, but I will treat you so well you will not know. And that is the crux of what happened in commerce, in business, in ventures. You have people you overwork, but you treat them so well, they look at you like, you know what, you take good care of me, it's okay. But when you put me down and steal from me, and you put your foot on my neck,
I feel it.
Are we together now? So the day I rise, my brother, it will be an accumulation of generations of pressure.
You know what? Our phone lines have been ringing. Buzzing, and so let's open the phone lines. Your favorite man on the screen is here, Jim Ikye.
Questions that you answered it to the bomb by step, everything. I really enjoyed it with my friends here.
Nation by the wrong route. But I also tell you something that is clear, that if you're not in consonant with what I'm talking about, you won't understand. God will never allow what is not meant to allow to happen. You and I may not agree, but there's nothing that's ever happened without God allowing it. If that man was not meant to be there, there's by no means will he make it there. Somehow, one way or the other, God allowed this happen. I may not like it, you may not like it, including your leadership. You guys share the same passion even with your leadership right now. You don't like your president that much. I say what I want to say anytime, and it's the truth. The statistics speak for itself. But let me tell you, that man is meant to be there. Make peace with it. Because if he's not meant to be there, God will not allow him to get there. Now, this is where the freedom of choice is given to you. When God blesses you that way, and you are the unwanted, that puts yourself in a certain position, why can't you change the course of time, the course of history? Why can't you change it? Why can't you just do something different that will make people, literally your world's most vocal critics, start speaking good about you? There are many times I've arrived at a destination that I know I didn't deserve. I'm telling you.
Let's go back to the phone. Let's see. This could be our final one. So, because we want to keep listening to the other side, man, we'll need a whole day and extra. You make a good conversation, you know, and we enjoy a bit of it. But let's get to Rent a Room. First of all, a very intriguing title. We've had titles from your third generation, we had lots of titles, you know. Anytime we had titles, we were like, wow, African directors and movie makers. Which one to be this?
Oh, we are super with titles. You see the worst film ever, but the title gets you there.
Yeah, sometimes the title gives you a whole idea of the movie already.
Bro, sometimes the title sells the entire story. You don't even have to watch the film.
No.
Just watch the title and go.
Rent a Room. The phone is the story. Do you want to engage Bob? Okay. All right, let's engage.
Let's do Rent a Room as the last feature.
As the last feature. All right. Okay, let's go.
When you hear a different, you know, I stay true to my convictions and my beliefs. And it's more than served me, and I've been successful so far with this. I don't see any reason I have to alter it, or I lean to a different, understanding of it. So, what did he ask specifically?
Yeah, I mean, this 10-year-old son of one of our greatest legends when it comes to music, 10-year-old, and he was asked about religion, God, his own concept, his thinking, and he said, well, he doesn't believe that God sits somewhere who must be disturbed every day by human beings who need to work. He doesn't believe that you should go to some pastor to pray for miracle. He says you got to work. A 10-year-old was saying that you got to work.
And I think it's a strong conviction.
And I think he's listened to you from the beginning of this conversation.
No, but the difference between me and him, my brother, is that I do believe in God.
Yeah.
The author and finisher of everything I do is God. So for a 10-year-old to have those strong convictions, he's been taught. He's been indoctrinated, even programmed to think like that. Because a 10-year-old's brain is yet forming.
Yeah.
He hasn't formed an opinion about life. He's yet to understand the full implication of life. And that is what disturbs me with this new woke era, when you go to change a child's sex or gender because you think that they are not who you think they are. That's another issue, another topic to be had another day. But the disparity couldn't be far from. I am an avid, an ardent, an obsessed believer in Jesus Christ.
Right.
Everything I do from morning to evening, including before I came here, is steeped in prayer and convictions and belief. So no, I don't have that school of thought. I only believe that God, listen, I am is God. There's nowhere in Exodus 13:16 God specifically presented himself to Moses as I am. So I believe the I am the frame of reference of I am. I am godlike.
Okay.
He breathed his life into me, became me. So that is the understanding. I don't trivially use the word I am. Not even when I joke. That's the difference. The ideology is the same, but the conviction is different.
Very well. Let's go back to the phone. Hello, my good friend. How are you? Yes. First of all, the title. It is making me wrap my head around. Okay, what could it be about? I kind of also have the gift of trying to, know what the entirety.
You can't figure this one out.
But this one, Rent a Room,
is totally different.
First of all, what kind of settings did you shoot it in?
It's a background that again is born into my ability to navigate waters when the tides are swimming against me. Yeah. When the tides are against me, I swim against the tide. When we started, I went to the US. There was a business I was going to fix with my US manager. We do business once in a while. So a deal came up. It's in the oil and gas sector. So he brought me into it. A day before the meeting, he calls me and says, you know what? There's this friend of ours. So there's a friend of ours that listed at least 3 or 4 Airbnbs. So after a while, he decided to make a business of it. His home is huge, and recently he's in the military. And recently, I think him and his wife are in the military. They were to be stationed in Japan, one of those far-flung Asian countries. So he decided to rent his room until they're ready to go. The rooms he rented, there was a white boy, there was a Caribbean dude, there was an Indian, and Every one of them had different characteristics. The one that smoked weed, the one that played rock music. In fact, it was the most regrettable exercise he's ever had in his life. Because he brought people from different ethnicity and they were all crazy. So when he was recounting it to me, that is how I draw my stories from different ideology of life. Yeah. That night, something latched on. I walk at night. I usually sleep early between the hours of 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. I'm awake. I sleep again. I pray 6 to 7. By 8, I go back to sleep. 11, I'm ready to start my day. I exercise 1 hour, train 1 hour, then I move into my day. Repeat. I eat my first meal from 4 p.m. every day. Okay. So this whole thing, I understood that this has to be made into a story. I called him the next day and said, we're making a film out of it. He said, what are we going to do? I said, I'll have it ready by the next day. I wrote the treatment, passed it on to me, he got excited. By the third day, we were sitting together and putting the story together. So that's how Rent a Room started. Wow. So it's a film about a guy down on his luck that was a victim of post-COVID. He was laid off. He didn't want to do the 9 to 5. He's an app developer, he's a techpreneur. And in the interim between finding his next big gig and launching his app, he decided on a way to sustain his ailing family financially. And they had a huge one. So he decided, listen, why don't we bring people to rent different rooms? And from there, we can sustain our mortgage, we can sustain our lifestyle until we can even raise some money to launch our product. And then that's when he opened the Pandora box and invited some of the most unorthodox people in life. There was a Caucasian, my lead is an Indian, my sub-lead is a Chinese, there was the African American. So it's a melting pot of races, creed, religion.
You must have sunk a lot into that financially.
Oh yeah, we buried. I always bury my movies. Look up all my work. I don't play with that. You understand?
That's an expensive cast.
So both of us sat down and said, you know what? Let's executive produce. So I was executive producer, lead, then directing. There's a guy a new kid on the block, smart dude. I was in London before I went to the States. I spent 5 days in London, interviewed him. He seemed really cool. I got into America. 2 days before then, we had a conversation about the film. And he was telling me about changes, what he thought, his notion of what he thought about Nigerians, his notion of what he thought about the different ethnicity. And then it dawned on me, this guy didn't understand the concept of what I was trying to create. So in the interim, that day, my sister and I told my sister, I come from a house of predominantly female, but there's one sister that's like a brother to me. It's the gangster that I room and things with. So I called her and she said, hey, how do you feel about this new project? I said, I feel good, but see what happened. I don't think this director is the right person. And he told me, you remember how you created your last film, Bad Coming? It came out of being attacked, a backlash of something you posted on the internet. You created a film out of it. Are you not tired of putting your ideas and principles into the hands of people to direct when you know that you're capable of doing this? Why haven't you directed your film? It will shock you what your mental archives is capable of storing in the course of an endeavor. I will sit on set and be literally telling directors the best shots to capture the essence of the moment in most of my projects. So I sat down and said, why not? Why not? It's just another feather on my cap. That's a lot to take because I was car props, I was writer, I was lead, I was producer, I was executive producer. Now,
it was now left with directing.
And so this is a final endeavor that gave me my final feather as a complete face of film creative industry. I've done every other thing.
That should be celebrated.
I've done every other thing but directing. So this is it. This is what we did. I directed it. I came out far better for it. And I bought a present for it to say thank you for letting me see the light in that regard.
Very, very, very interesting. I mean, the build up to the story, just when I was thinking that was all, now it comes to the base where you got to be the producer. That wasn't the plan from the start.
No, that wasn't the director. The director wasn't the plan.
It was just going to be another you producing and all that and casting as well.
When he found out I was one directing, he said, did you deliberately decide to direct? And that's why he fired me. I said, if I explain the dynamics of how my mind works, you will not understand it. Sometimes I don't even understand how my mind works. I just get down on my knees, I pray to God, and I say, I'm about to do something. Am I doing it emotionally? Am I doing it correctly? There are two different, prisms. If I'm emotional because I think I'm capable, or because I have the resources, or because I'm the boss, you're not doing it the right way. But if you're doing it correctly because you will, and you actually understand the intricacies. When my cast came, my cast was Iyke Perez of Big Brother was there, Iyke Edo, Uche Jumbo.
You have Uche,
yeah,
Iyke.
So Iyke, Iyke cornered me and said, you know what, you're bending me out of shape. And I don't like how you direct, but I'm telling you by God, I will not be challenged like this. In fact, I hate how you operate because I came onto that set and I refused to recognize that we're in front here. We fought a lot on that set because there were certain demands that she's not used to. I mean, she's a veteran in every regard as well. So I was treating her like a rookie. No considerations, no accolades. I was stingy with praise. You walk your ass up to 2 a.m. I'll pretend like you did nothing for me. And I appeared the next day, first online, last to leave. So there was nothing I was putting anybody through that wasn't going through. But they were like losing up. At least let us know we're doing well, but I refused. That was relentless.
You the latter day saint.
Absolutely. So at the end of the day, she said, listen, I want to thank you. I've not been bent out of shape like this for a while. This is a reminder of why I'm created.
How hard was it to put a cast together?
Extremely. They're extremely busy people, high talent of that level. They will only do it if a certain kind of person asked. Trust me, she had to leave a lot to fly to Nigeria for a week. Uche had to even leave more because Uche lives half in the US now. Yeah. So between children runs and her business and putting things, and she came to set. Perez just happened to be around before he got into Big Brother, so I cornered him. And made it happen. The rest were Caucasians, Indians, and Asian, and Mexicans. Bro, it was a cast, this was a melting point of creed, religion, race, and belief system.
Was it smooth throughout, or there were some setbacks?
No, you can't make it.
Especially
I was dealing with a different ethnicity. First time I was producing in America. So there's no how, it's a different creative space. Our people will walk till 1 a.m., 12 a.m., and they will do it gladly, still they have a beer with you, still drink. These guys, immediately the hours are up, nobody wants to know. They leave. And then being able to lead a team to give you what you want. Don't forget, 1 minute I'm a cast. Another minute, I'm the boss probably telling everybody what to do. In another regard, I'm the director that's calling shots. So there were different parts of my brain that
functioning at the same time.
Functioning at the same time. That alone will wear you out. Bro, when I finished that film, I was in bed for 5 days. I only come up, have some liquid, do some food. First of all, I went 2 days without food because I didn't have the energy for it. I just wanted food, eat, sleep. I didn't bathe for 3 days. I just wanted to lie in bed. I tried to watch a movie, my eye, but it wasn't working. I would sleep 8 hours straight, wake up, try to read a book, I couldn't sleep. I knew my body was exhausted. So I gave it the rest of my day. And I was sleeping intermittently in different places. So I told my assistants, shut down, no phone call, nothing. So I recouped in the first 3 days. Then I had my first solid food the third day. Then 2 more days of back-to-back sleep. I found my voice, but I lost my voice. But no, I don't, because of the lifestyle I live, I don't get sick. I've not had any business with any hospital for almost 15 days.
That's good to hear.
No, I don't have it. My lifestyle is different. I eat organically, I eat once a day, I let my body rejuvenate, I regenerate my cells properly, I don't drink, I smoke cigarettes occasionally, but that's the only bad habit I have. And that cigarette probably once every 3 or 4 months. I exercise religiously, so the chances of illness coming next to me is not possible. And that's why I can put my body through an extreme beating, mentally, psychologically, and physically. And then I also know how to rejuvenate my body back to the precise shape. People don't understand it. You're not Superman. Rest is part of the contention. Rest is part of the equation. I know how to rest because I don't have distractions. I don't have friends I hang out with to drink or tell me, oh, come hang out with us. No, I don't. I know how to remove myself from civilization. Meaning no internet, no phone call, no nothing. Whatever that is important can wait. That's why you're successful. There are people that you can delegate to and pay them to take your problems away. and the rest. So that's what I did.
So, how available have you started launching it? Are we? I know it's a major reason why we're here.
You know, our premieres.
It's not going to be the.
Now, let me come from. We just finished a 3-city premiere. I wish I could show you the video, but it's online. It was huge. So we had 2 halls sold out in Houston, and they told me to get a 3rd hall, meaning we had almost 500 people to see it in Houston. And I refused, and we had about 48 people outside the city. And it was a mixture of different ethnicity and races and cultures. You know, I think I have more white people because Caucasians probably took 6 of my roles, of the 12 or so roles, they took 7 or so. Only white folks. And I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. Okay, so it was a proper international film in every regard. We sold out Maryland, we sold out Houston, we did Dallas, we did Maryland. Okay, I just did Maryland last week. So we decided, hey, let's do this, we'll do some kind of awareness to it. So we're officially launching hopefully by the end of the year in Nigeria. As soon as we're done in Nigeria, but our sister country is where we need to be. There's nothing that happens in Nigeria that doesn't somehow. The ripple effect is felt here. Whatever you guys do, the ripple effect is felt. So we're coming to Ghana, I just don't know when.
Oh, very soon. I thought there was a lot of it.
No, this is a special thing for you, my nigga.
Thank you, man.
Tomorrow I'm on the plane in my mouth.
Oh, man. Okay, but so we gotta wait. But before the Ghana premiere, are we gonna have any opportunity to see it anywhere? I mean,
hopefully we're gonna close the deal soon. There's already a lot of.
I'm suspecting Netflix. So
Well, I hope you suspect. It's about who can make the check. My check is usually high, my brother. So it's whoever that can write it, I will go with. I'm
African
not.
Magic.
No, that's the lowest. Well, we're talking Apple TV, Netflix, Amazon, your call African Magic. Are you bringing me down?
You moved away.
There's no free right I can check, bro. I'm saying it, let them sue me. When I don't feed African Magic, when I don't get that kind of money, you can't handle me, my brother. No, I don't get, not now. Come and meet me back 5 years from now. My check lies on one of these platforms. I say, it's not African Magic. When we're tired of the movie, that's when we ship it to you guys.
I'm sure in all of these, the people, I mean, this is not, I mean, going global, this conversation, I'm sure that.
I hope they sue me. I need more publicity.
I'm sure you want to say thank you to some entities and individuals along the line with Rent a Room. How far it's come, you know?
Listen, the Houston community, I love you guys. You showed what it meant, and I'm not talking Nigerian. I had Ghanaian accents, I had Tanzanian accents, I had South African accents, I had Angolan accents, I had Nigerian accents. It is a study on what it means when our people rally around their home. As a community, we can supersede anything. Those white folks were in power. Just watching people of African descent come together for their own. It's disturbing. It was disturbing. They were forced to release their police force to come and protect us. Because that kind of crowd has not gathered in the theater before for a movie that's not Hollywood. In Houston, I mean maybe in Atlanta or LA, but not in Houston, bro. We're the first to do it in that caliber. And it's also an extremely upscale, expensive theater. So people only go there when you have your girlfriend, you want to go impress. Sit back on the line, get your duvet, order food and all that. We did it with our premium. And so they were out like, okay, next time chat us up. Tell us your coming to because we see what you can do. You can shut down with the streets. We took over that corner of town. People that were coming to watch movies in other theaters had to wait for hours because we took over the entire building. That is what will happen when we come to the game of numbers and support our home. That is what's happening in our music, is what's happening in our films, is what's happening everywhere. It's not a Ghanaian thing, stop this division. It's not a Tanzanian thing, it's not a South African thing, it's an African thing. It's a continental thing. They never make that division when they gather to oppress us. Why do we always demarcate ourselves when we deal with them? And so, the nation is blessed with numbers and gifts and talent and natural resources seem like it's divided. Because there's no unity to come as one. Some of our brothers have seen the light, got up and said, and took those pot-belly thieving positions and put them where they're supposed to be and took over their country. And the other people are going to fight them. That is wrong. Let's come together and end your politicalism. That's the only way to go about children's future to go short. And one of the ways is the satire we produce and create through our music, through our industry, to educate our people.
Jim Ikye,
yes, sir.
It's been a beautiful conversation, and we must say a big thank you to you. You have to wait, make your flight wait until after this conversation, and we don't take it for granted at all. A big thank you to you. You are a beacon as far as the industry, and even outside the industry is concerned. I mean, the phone calls kept coming in, call after call. I appreciated the nuggets you've shared with us today on this platform. Of course, letting us into some other parts of your life that is far away from social media and all that. We appreciate it so much. We can only wish you the best. Keep hoisting the flag of Africa high. We're proud of what you've done in Houston, and I know it's going to replicate in any other place you're going to premiere this video, this movie. Ghana will patiently wait. I know you will do your tour between Accra, Kumasi, and the rest of the places. We're ready anytime. We're ready to get on board with you as starrFm, BERD, GH1 TV. We are always ready to do that with you. A big thank you, and let me shake your hands. Thank you so much.
Enjoy everything. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And that's the man, Jim Ikye.